Well, the morning is here. I'm very excited. It's 5:45. Getting ready for a little breakfast. We're gonna go with some egg whites and a banana for breakfast, so that I can make sure to hopefully not cramp up while I'm diving. And I'm excited, man. Today's the big day. It's gonna be a ton of fun, I hope. Oh, yeah. Here, our dive leader Jim is demonstrating how you rappel down a 100-foot sheer cliff face underwater. Awesome. Seeing as how we are diving in an abandoned lead mine, it should come as no surprise that there are large veins of lead still running through these pillars holding the ceiling up from crushing us. This is one of those veins. In this part, we are in a swim through, and you can see how our air bubbles are collecting on the ceiling of this pathway, looking like mercury floating around on a floor. It's pretty neat looking and fun to play with. And once you get on the outside, you can see all of those air bubbles permeating up through the cracks in the rock and looking really neat. These are all lids from the styrofoam cases that they brought the dynamite down into the mine with. They apparently didn't decide to clean up after themselves, and they became quite fun toys for the divers. This is a section of Trail 2 called the Keyhole. It is a small pass through, easily large enough for one person, but definitely not going to fit two people through there, where we come into a larger open area that has some fun artifacts to explore. You'll notice the lighting in this section of the mine is much greater than in other areas, and that is thanks to the dive shop operators who have put in lights in certain areas that make it more visible for us to be able to explore and play with fun stuff. This is the final section of Trail 3. This is an old staircase that the miners used to use to get up and down from the mine, obviously. The light shining through is the tunnel that we're going to swim through to ascend up to the surface and finish up our dive. So it was a very fun dive. It was cool to be able to go through some of the swim throughs and some of the artifacts that we get to see on the bottom. Excited for dive number 3.
How you doing? All right? Good. Sounds good. Good. Remember to be at 500. Got time. Trail 4. 4 and 2. All right, so you got the trophy.
Dive number 3 was on trail number 4. And one of my favorite parts about these dives is when you're cruising along on the floor here and all of a sudden you come up over these massive drops that just appear as if they're going down into the abyss. They go down about 100 to 170 feet, but since there's no ambient light down there, it just seems like you're dropping off into infinity. There's a lobster. It's not real. There's a rock. I feel like I haven't really gotten enough footage of the rocks in this short video, so I wanted to show you all some rocks. See, he's got a light on a rock there. probably from the mine. This is a swimming and some more swimming. And this is the elevator shaft or the remnants of the elevator shaft. The miners back in the 18 and early 1900s were pretty smart. They realized that iron ore or lead ore was very heavy, and they used gravity to take it down, 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 down to the bottom of the mine, and then they would use the elevator to take it back up to the top. At this point, we're at about 50 to 60 feet of water, and yeah, and I look down there, that's about another 100 to 170 feet down to the bottom of the mine. There's absolutely no current in the mine. There's nowhere for the water to go. There's no thermocline. So as a result, whenever there's any kind of sediment or any dust gets kicked up in the water, it stays there and gives the appearance of smoke, as you will see right here in the lights. And those are train tracks. I realize what this may look like to you is just a bunch of rocks on the bottom of the mine. But what you're not seeing is that there are a bunch of rocks at the bottom of the mine. So that's pretty neat. We're going to go through a swim through here, and what's neat to notice is how there's some light. The guy in front of me here is the dive leader, and it's a rock. And when he goes into the swim through, you'll notice that he pretty much disappears except for that blue light stick he has on his back, and that's all we had to follow going through this. A little bit nerve-wracking, very cool. In order to pass time during the long, grueling days of mining, oftentimes the miners would participate in a game of torpedo. They liked the torpedo because it simulated the dynamite that they used to excavate the mine. After the mine flooded, it just so happens that they found one of these torpedoes, and it happens to be neutrally buoyant, so it's quite fun for us divers to play with. The rest of the divers were having a great time playing catch with the neutrally buoyant torpedo left behind by the miners, but I got bored, so I came over to this mine cart and I picked up a shovel head and then I put it back down. Well, here we are at our 15-foot safety stop. This is the end of our third dive and the end of my time at Bonne Terre Mine. Had a great time, something I'm super glad I was given the opportunity to do. Mom, thank you for the GoPro. Chrisanne, thank you for the support in my doing this, even though I easily could have drowned and died.